Hello, people. Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a little while, but as I said, I will be doing some videos on World 5. I wanted to get this one out a couple days ago, but life is busy, the holidays. So, anyway, welcome back. Um, First off, I'll give a little bit of a uh, topic on how this video is going to be structured. So basically, this will have a little bit of minor spoilers, but I'm not going to go too in depth on all the crazy stuff I have access to right now. Um, because basically, I'm going to wait till next week or so, and then I will start doing detailed videos on each of the skills and then other tidbits as well. So for this one, it's going to be basically what I think you should do within the first week of World 5, like a sort of path to go down. In my opinion, what I think is currently quite strong. Um, and then I'm also going to go over just some really quick tips on some of the skills and how they interact with each other, and go over the gem shop at the end. So, alrighty, well, let's jump into it. So, you unlocked World 5. Woo! We're here. We're finally here. Um, so, first off, as soon as you get into World 5, my recommendation is to um, basically put all 10 characters on Divinity. I think unlocking the first god, and really the second god, is too important to pass up. I actually think you just drop all your lab bonuses entirely and go straight for the second Divinity. Um, well, first Divinity at the very least, and then we'll talk about the specifics. Another thing I recommend doing is going to unlock all the bubbles that you can if you haven't already, and equipping the big bubbles on your characters, specifically the warrior, archer, and mage ones. Um, at the very least, for the first couple days, you won't really have any bonuses in them yet until about like several days in, a week in, or something. Um, but you can 90% tag and get a couple upgrades for free if your other reductions are high enough. That's a nice little tidbit, and it really helps out. Um, Another thing is, so basically, what you're gonna do is you're gonna put 10 on Divinity, and then you're gonna unlock the first god. Uh, when you have the first god unlocked, then it depends if you're an active player or a non-active player. If you're just AFK always, um, basically put one character on AFK, and you're gonna want to do Slargan's quests. Well, obviously do the town quests for World 5. They're very strong and they teach you a little bit of how the quests go, but that's kind of obvious. Their rewards are just insane, but they're account wide. With Slargan's quests, you can do them on each character, and they give you the consumables for the world, bottled winds and fertilizers. Um, you want those. Those are insane. They really boost the first week of World 5. You want to get as many of them as possible. Um, so get the first god, and then cycle through each of your characters. So basically 9 on Divinity and then 1 AFKing doing Slargan's Quest. You're going to want to AFK Slargan's Quest because it does not count multi-kill for active. Um, you can do the first two, they're very quick by the time you're in World 5. The third one's a little longer, and I mean, the second, third one only give you Gaming Fertilizer, which is still strong, don't get me wrong, but um, at the third one, a lot of people are going to start slowing down on how quickly you can get it done. So I would suggest just getting the first one done on each of your 10 characters and then rotating them around. It's tedious, I know. You don't need to do it this way. This is just the most efficient, in my opinion. Um, then the second one, like I said, is quite quick as well. Um, the third one is when it starts getting slow, and then the fourth one, which is the best reward, um, is the by far the slowest. MN is going to suffer here. But you're going to want to be cycling through these on each of your characters, just getting as many of the bottled wind gaming fertilizer you can for free as you can. Uh, Meanwhile, you're going to be wanting to work on getting the second god unlocked. The second god will reactivate your lab bonuses. They are great. So then you're going to want to put the second god on basically as many characters as possible because the passive talent bonus is great too. Um, but at the point when you unlock the second god, you can actually put the first god on a few characters. I mean, it depends on how many you want in lab. I think having 7 in on the arc disc god when you have the second god unlocked is pretty good. Um, that way you can have the cooking speed bonus active as well and start leveling up the New World 5 meals. The Snake God you can have on 3 to 4 characters, depending. You can even go lower than that and only have like 4 in lab, quote unquote, or on the lab god, but it's up to you. I don't think you need to cycle through doing that quest on all the characters that quickly. You're going to want to eventually push your characters up to the skilling nodes, but honestly, I wouldn't. It depends how much time you have to play, basically, but like, don't worry about that too hard. As long as you can get a character up there and take a sample, you're okay. You don't need to go crazy for it. Um, but I would also recommend actually going for the third god. So basically, once you unlock the second god, uh, people's paths will change a lot. Depends if you want to focus down divinity, if you want to try to optimize for sailing, gaming, if you want to just push the portals, etc. However, I think the third god is so important for pushing the portals because it's multiplicative with lab bonus. Um, that getting it and then doing the second or the third and fourth quest for Slargan is quite efficient. Because the fourth quest gives so many bottled wins and fertilizers, and those things just boost. I mean, we're talking multiple days worth of progress in those consumables. After third god, you could technically not even continue pushing divinity at all, because the rest of the gods after the third ones are very after the third one is very like not niche, but more of an end game focus. You'll be wanting to use them later. However, getting the rabbit god is quite strong because your divinity gains will skyrocket since it gives another multiplier towards it. So yeah, for divinity, basically go for the third god, in my opinion, and then you can be basically free of divinity if you want it to be. Personally, I am going to be keep going trying to push the gods, as you can see, but that's just me. For sailing, I would recommend saving all your bottles until you have at least 2 boats. You can use a few bottles when you have 2 boats, but honestly, the longer you save them, the faster the more progress you're going to get. I have 7 captains, so that's 7 times more effective per bottle than if you used them when you only had one. Um, so each and every boat that you add to your fleet makes the sailing bottles that much stronger. Um, the caveat is the longer you wait on them, the slower your gains will be. So World 5, all of the skills ramp up crazy fast. You're gonna start off gaining 10 divinity per hour and 10 XP per hour, like across your account, and then suddenly it's gonna boost up to like 3 or 4 thousand once you get a couple multipliers unlocked. Same thing with gaming, same thing with sailing. The everything it ramps up quickly. Sailing is probably the one that ramps up the least, but even then, loot value is quite strong. For sailing, focus on loot value over sailing speed. Um, so sailing speed only matters if you're hitting the minimum. So you'll see this minimum 25 meters or 25 m, 25 unit, whatever. Um, so as long as my speed is over 25 per hour, I'm good. I'm hitting that minimum time of 2 hours. So that's great. The higher the speed, the faster you'll unlock clouds. The clouds are not affected by minimum travel time. So you'll want to push minimum speed, or you want to push speed as far as you can before trying to unlock clouds. So basically, with sailing, you want to do like a cycle of farming the islands that you have until you think you are strong enough to go push a cloud quite quickly and then repeat. You also want to get lucky with some artifacts, but I mean, it's luck. Um, each and every day, you're going to be wanting to purchase your captain. It's very important that you set aside gold to make sure you have extra boats available. See, I have these two boats with no captains because I have pre-bought them in preparation for my two captains tomorrow. You also going to want to save some gold on hand. Um, but yeah, after getting the first god, you can also go back to activating on Bubo or Maestro, depending on your preference. Uh, the reason why I highly recommend going active, even if you don't active at all, I would recommend activating at least a little bit if possible, is because golden hamsters is way strong of a golden food for your first week, and I mean it's just gonna be a strong golden food forever. You're gonna want to farm these as much as you can, and it's just quite efficient to do on Bubo because you'll get a lot of money throughout World 5 as well. And then you're going to want to distribute these to all your characters who are doing Divinity. And that way, in conjunction with the bubble, the big bubble, and then later on the post office, you're going to be getting tons of sailing AFK time from your characters. Prioritize giving your warriors more golden food. You'll see this one has 180 or 180 of them, and it gives a 19% chance. Um, Warriors are just way more effective. This one has 450 and it's 35% chance. But I'll show you what 180 looks like. Uh, and this is due to Warriors just having innate golden food bonuses. So 27.4 compared to 19%, I believe. So yeah, give as much as you can to your Warriors to just make the sailing gains as guaranteed as possible. And that will, again, just boost it up. You can even toss on royal turbans for your characters who are doing divinity. As you can see, I have quite a few doing divinity right now. Um, so yeah, that'll be the early stages of World 5. Um, Gaming is fairly, how to say, self-contained. However, you want to optimize gaming to push your other skills. It boosts how, like, you could boost this one with gaming, uh, this one with gaming. Did I click that one? Yeah. This one with sailing, but you see what I mean. Like, you're gonna want to have some optimizations towards gaming, and gaming is the one that ramps up the fastest anyway. Um, Personally, I think using your fertilizers early on is fine. There's no really reason to save them. Like, technically saving them for when you've unlocked shovel, for when you've unlocked squirrel is better, but I mean, you're just going to unlock those things faster if you use them. So feel free to use the fertilizers with reckless abandon. Just do so somewhat efficiently. Um, what else? But I'll do a more optimal or a more detailed video on the skills again. I'm just trying to give some direction for where to go. But basically, think of gaming as boosting the other skills. It also has some alchemy costs and such. But all right, so that would be basically the first couple days of World 5, in my opinion, what you're supposed to focus on. Again, I'll give a detailed guide to, or like a path towards sailing, a path towards divinities, what you want to focus on, blah, blah, blah. But that'll be a good primer um, for the first week or so of World 5. And maybe the meta will evolve. So we'll see what people come up with. As far as the gem shop is concerned, in my opinion, the strongest upgrade is the Divinity Sparky. It's a permanent upgrade. It's going to be good forever. It gives more Divinity points and Divinity XP, so it's a double dip there because both of those are quite important. Um, and I just think that unlocking God 2 will skyrocket your progress through World 5 um, due to just getting your lab back online and then being able to basically be free of lab and do, like, set your own path. After that, I think lava sprouts are quite strong. Um, Personally, I like the permanent upgrades more than the consumables, but the consumables are also fairly strong. So, lava sprouts, great one. I would say Divinity Sparky, I think, is easy first. I would say lava sprouts, sprinkler, like second and third tied almost. Chest Sluggo, it's good. You're gonna want it. Eventually, you get the ability to kind of filter out chests, so your space won't be too bad. And also, each boat holds an additional chest as well. So let's say your cap is 5, but you have 4 boats, you can hold 9 chests because the boats will hold them as well. But the chest logo is nice. This one's more of quality of life and just letting you AFK longer. So depending on your playstyle, you'll value this more or not. As far as the consumables go, these two are quite cheap, but very powerful. Again, the bottled winds are just going to get better and better the longer sailing goes on, just because you're going to have more boats. You're going to level up faster, etc. Gaming fertilizer, same thing, just gets more powerful over time. Miracle chests, quite strong. I honestly, I'm remiss to say that like you should just buy these every day, but like the amount of treasure you get from this, allowing you to then boost your loot value. So loot value does not scale linearly. They have like breakpoints where it jumps. The amount of loot you get early on from this feeds itself so quickly that I would say at the very least you could buy like 1 or 2, maybe 3 the first day, and that'll just skyrocket your progression for later on. Later on, I can see these not being as great. This is probably like an extremely early World 5 buy, and then later on, not necessary at all. Whereas the bottled winds and gaming fertilizers will be great later as well. So that is preference based. Um, as far as card packs go, the boss cards are in there. Not a bad idea. There are some pretty powerful cards, but again, preference based. I definitely think the Divinity Sparkies are the best though. So, anyway, that is my very quick, messy video for the introductory path to World 5. Quick note, like, just a quick TLDR was basically open World 5, put all 10 on Divinity. Unlock until you unlock First God. With the First God, cycle through your characters, doing Slargan's Quest, but keeping as many as you can on Divinity until you unlock Second God. After you get Second God, I personally recommend going for the Third God before you start pushing portals. Um, but you can unlock a couple characters to do the second and maybe third Slargan's Quest, depending on your speed. After you get Third God, go wild. Do kind of whatever you want. We'll see what's more meta later, but that's kind of where I'm at right now. Is I'm personally pushing Divinity as much as I can. However, there are important upgrades and artifacts you want to get to boost your Divinity gains, which you will get access to quicker by doing the fourth Slargan quest. So yeah, it again, I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, we'll see the meta develop from here, but that is what I am doing as I'm entering World 5. Um, I had access to World 5 a little longer than others, so I this is what I'm using from my experience in it, which is a bit more than others. This is my path. Again, I'm not saying I'm right, just kind of what I'm doing. So hopefully that helps. And like I said, look forward to in-depth videos coming. Should be next week. Again, holidays. I'll try to get them out as much as I can, but familial obligations and such. Um, Unfortunately, I just can't dedicate, tons of time to spending on a game, even though I'm really loving it. And then just World 5 impressions. I'm really loving World 5. I actually think it's way better than World 4, and honestly, I'm currently thinking it's better than World 3. I'm really really enjoying it. Lava knocked it out of the park with World 5. So, oh, and quick before I go, remember to buy out the shop. It's great. You want to stock up on these stones as much as possible. The refinery stamp is also strong. I'm probably missing a ton of little tiny tidbits here and there, but hopefully we'll cover those in the next videos to come. So, thanks for watching. Hope this helps.